I am really excited for session number 2 with Brendan Donaldson and Michael Anthony, who have created something called the Smart Start Academy, where they really are passionate about teaching the fundamentals. You know, we were just bantering about the fact that like the problem is that most of you are really, really good at what you do. Like genuinely, you can strategically solve problems. You can technically put together a great loan. You can help somebody overcome unbelievable obstacles to meet their goals. But the question is, do people know that? Are you getting the value out of actually being good? And, you know, Brendan, you made the point on the last call that has really stuck with me so much, which is, are we competing with that guy or gal in the cubicle and working the way they are working? Or are we working differently? So we have the opportunity, we have the ability to show off our strengths and our skills. And that comes from building value in an appointment. So first note, I want you to all write, take out your pen, write this down. We are salespeople and we go on appointments. That's it. If you look at your calendar this week, it's Friday. We got to look in the mirror and say, how many appointments did I have? Now, are they pre-approval appointments, smart start appointments? Are they presentation appointments? Are they meeting with bankers, CPAs, financial advisors? I don't care, but you got to have appointments. So today, Brendan and Michael are going to do a great job talking about how we land these appointments, how we build value so people will come and meet with you. I can't tell you how many excuses I've heard over time, Brendan, where people are like, well, you don't understand my market. You don't understand how people are in my city. That just doesn't work here. And I know when I really committed to a strong face-to-face pre-approval meeting, same format every single time and getting really good at that, my business exploded. I became highly referable. I added quality value to the table. And on our last call, just to wrap up, the other thing that's ringing a bell for me and what I sent a clip out of today was when you said, how would you want people to refer you? Like if you could dream up, like you are the most badass professional that is really going to make an impact, and you would want the most badass attorney or real estate agent or movie producer or whoever in your respected industry to refer you, what would you want them to say? And then my question to us all is our identity, how we behave, how we show up, what our processes are those in alignment with how we want to be referred? And it's always a process to get there. But last call, if you didn't watch it, go back to the recording, because that is basically like setting the vision. You don't do all the little work unless you really understand where you're trying to go. So I thought last call was so brilliant. I'm going to turn over the mic. Brendan, take us right in there. Let's get right into the meat.
Yeah. And I wrote this down. Thanks, Shayla. Michael and I will kind of do some role play. We've got bullet points of what we're going to go through. I want this to be interactive. Take notes. I wrote down in the thing to everyone, what do your clients want from you? So if you guys could just chime in, what do you think they want from you? This is, so as you're typing things in, I wrote this phrase, increase your conversion rate by selling your true value sooner in the process. And if you remember the raving fan, know what you want, know what your client wants, and then improve 1%. So honesty, peace of mind, communication, great experience, expertise. These are good. Anybody else? Trust and guidance. Accessibility. Nice. Anybody else want to chime in? They want the best deal. Honesty. Reliability. So I'm going to look at my notes. Here's what I wrote down that I think in general clients want. Strategic partner. Love it. I wrote down to learn, knowledge, advice, expertise, education, accessibility, advocacy, connections, future planning. Strategic partner might be future planning. By the way, to learn and education and knowledge is all the same thing. Ready? Let's put in, they want the best deal. So, are you giving your clients all of these things? So here's what I wrote. And Shayla was kind of talking about it before we were on the call. Remember this. If your competitor is Rocket Mortgage, a credit union, a place where literally all they know how to do is be a sales processor, like they understand how to get a loan for the client, this is what that looks like. Write this down. Phone call, first phone call. It's 10 to 20 minutes or 25. It's extended because they're essentially selling the process on the phone. Then at some point, it's Chelsea, I'm going to direct you to my online blue connector thing that lets you and your husband fill out all your stuff. And then you upload docs. And then what happens is me and my processors call you the next day because we hit a button and we pull your credit. And then in 15 minutes, we decide, because you told us in our upfront call that you only wanted your payment to be $3,000. So really, we are literally like a high trained dog that's just going to reverse engineer your approval. Because by the way, you know what you want. You're a client. And that's not right. They don't know what they want. Remember from last week. So then we do the follow-up call. We present a loan estimate. This takes 10 to 15 minutes. And then what we do is lickety split. We send an approval letter to their agent and to them. I'm the world's greatest loan officer. That takes about 45 minutes. And everybody, if I wish I had a headset and I had a Rocket Mortgage thing, because that's what a sales loan officer at a very weak organization does. If this sounds like what you do, I'm going to inform you today, you're very weak. The reason why you have no value and that all of this and that they want the best deal is the only thing you hear and see is because you have no value yet, and we've got to get you there. When I say no, you have value in the process. So if the client is one of those clients that's valuing process only because they're so fearful and they're just so glad you called them back and got the loan for them, then that's a very weak level client. That's the client that just goes to Rocket Mortgage and they do a better job following up and you lose them. Or that's the client that takes the trigger lead call and it's like, oh my God, Carrie pulled my credit, Carrie Adams, and like 11 other people called Carrie, and it was so great that you did it all on the phone. But then like this other guy called from USA Mortgage in Cleveland, and he was like at 5.9 with like a lender credit. 5.9. Like, have you guys seen these trigger leads and how are heads? Yes. Trigger leads.
Yes.
Crazy offers. So here's the thing. That's the conventional process. Here's what we want to, the value we want to create to the client. So with Michael, we're going to go into, if any of you have a lead that you've generated today, a referral, the concept is lead appointment, presentation, and then if you do a great job, you get another referral. That's Joe Stump 101, lead appointment, presentation, referral. It's a circle, the lead to an appointment. So all we're talking about right now is that initial intro call. Michael and I are going to role play. We're going to do it quickly. It's 1:11. The goal on this role play, you've all gotten a lead on a phone, like your text, an email, a voicemail, and your goal is to call them, right? And whoever, we'll just play it this way, Michael.
Yeah.
You give me a scenario, lay it out there. You're a 90% purchase originator getting referrals from realtors and lenders and financial planners. So you lay out the lead.
Okay. So it'll be a relatively strong referral from a realtor, right?
Okay.
So and we'll do a couple versions. First version will be a relatively strong referral. Second version will be don't know the realtor that well. So let's start with the relatively strong referral from a realtor. And I'm going to call you and get some information on the loan.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Well, how about this? I call you because I got the text from the realtor.
Okay, that'll work.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, Michael.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Brendan Donaldson. I got your name from Katie Morrell. She had texted me this morning on that group text.
Oh, cool. How you doing, Brendan? Thanks for calling.
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing really well. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, she said you were in the market, that you were relocating here from Atlanta on that text.
Yes. Yeah. So definitely, Katie recommended I call you. We're looking to get pre-approved for our relocation. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Real quick before we get started, how did you meet Katie?
So Katie and my wife, they have a history. They've known each other for 10 years or so. So they're pretty tight. So I don't know her that well, but my wife does. And
Oh, okay.
whatever she says is going to go in this case. So
okay, cool. So wait, you're coming from Atlanta? How does your wife, Katie lives here in Nashville. How does she know your wife?
they went to school together. So they went to college together. Yeah.
They went to University of Tennessee.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, since your wife's not on the call, but I met Katie walking her dog a block away from my house about 4 years ago.
Are you serious? Wow.
Yeah. And she has these 3 little cute dogs. I pulled up and they were like pulling her. All of a sudden I roll down my window, have a conversation. One thing leads to the next. She's a realtor. I'm a lender. And it's been 4 years of kind of a great run. We've worked together, back and forth. So it's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Before we get started as well, did she tell you anything about our process and how we help her clients and what we've done in the past?
She didn't. She may have told my wife more, but from what I gather, she just said that you were obviously really good at what you did, and highly recommended we give you a call.
Okay, great. Yeah. Well, you own your house in Atlanta?
Yes, we do. Yep.
Okay, so you've been through this before. All right, so time out. All I did there for 90 seconds was get a frame of reference for the relationship. Just took the time to listen. Michael doesn't really know Katie. His wife does. His wife, Allison, might be the decision maker. She went to college with Katie. That's a strong bond. They live in Atlanta. They're coming here. Like, I could get into well, Michael, tell me about your job. I mean, what are you doing? Real quick. I mean, what's your credit? Like, no. That's what Rocket Mortgage people do. So 90 seconds in, all I've established, if all you guys heard, was that Michael knows I have a relationship with Katie. By the way, that is how I met Katie. Just so you know, first time I met Katie, she's like a $50 million agent with Compass. True story. We go to meet her for real, Shayla. This is color. She had just gone to an ayahuasca retreat in Costa Rica.
Nice.
The 1.5 hour first realtor meeting, me and my new LOA, she tells us the whole experience. We didn't say a word. We drive back to the office. I look at my LOA. I go, how do you think that went? He's like, did we talk business? I was like, no, we just listened to her drug story for 90 minutes. 2 days later, she starts referring us. So Michael, here's the point where you understand in a triangle that all I'm trying to do is establish how do you know the referring source and how I know. And then I transitioned to, hey, real quick, did she tell you how I've helped her clients in the past?
Yeah.
When you guys get good at this, you can say whatever you want. Here's the dance. Here's the violin. Michael, did she tell you anything about our process, how we've successfully closed 200 clients with her over the last 4 years? You could say that. Hey, Michael, did she tell you about our upfront process where we walk through clients a few series of questions in what we call a Smart Start meeting? And then they can make a decision at the end on what's best for them. Did she tell you about that? Like, you can say whatever, you can fill it as fast as you want. Did she tell you anything how we work or what we do to successfully get her clients the information they need? By the way, all of it's just a language and a dance to let him go. Michael, what are you going to say? Yeah, she told me a little. Yeah, she didn't tell me anything. Yeah, she said, I need to come meet with you. Like, that's the layup part.
Yeah. And also too, think about it. It is interesting to hear time after time after time how your realtor is referring you, right? If you hear the same thing over and over and over, and you're not fond of it, then we need to do a little bit of coaching with that realtor.
Yeah. And by the way, you'll know very quickly if you have to sell yourself or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because just because you got referred doesn't mean that the people know anything if you don't ask.
Yeah. And here's the other thing is oftentimes we feel like we got to sell ourselves, but the sell is done. Like somebody has elevated you so much that you can get right into it and not beat around the bush. The other thing is you want to know, like, if they go, yeah, she handed me 3 cards. I've already talked to the other 2 lenders. Like, you want to know that up front, or you want to know.
Shayla, that'll be the second role play. We'll do that in about 6 minutes.
Okay, good. I love that.
So, hey, Michael, well, I'm really glad she gave you my name and she told you a little bit about the process. And what is your wife's name?
Allison.
Allison. Cool. What I'd like to do is send you and Allison a quick email outlining what our process is. And maybe, I think the number one reason why Katie likes working with us. And obviously she's friends with your wife. And what I'd like to do is, it's Friday, it's 1:15. First and foremost, when do you plan on moving here?
I mean, as soon as we find the right house. I mean, it could be 2 weeks, it could be 30 days. I know inventory is pretty low, so I think it just depends on that. But
I'm assuming either one of you have jobs. When's your job start date?
Oh, it's already started. I'm working.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you already started. All right. So your time is now. Would you have time later this afternoon? Now, time out, people. Most leads don't come in this hot. So my next thing is to establish, I'm trying to set the appointment and I'm trying to figure out the urgency of his timeline. How fast does he want all this information that we said we're going to build our value in our expertise and all the stuff? So Michael just said ASAP. You never want to go, hold on a second, Michael, I'm ready now. That's not what the heart surgeon, high-paid lawyer, high-paid consultant, nobody is available now. That's not what the world does. The world sets an appointment. Now, I know he's going to be a virtual appointment. Or, hey, Michael, are you here? Or you said you already started your job. Are you here? Just say you're here.
Oh, yeah. We're in town for the next 4 days, 5 days.
Okay, cool. Why don't we do this? Would later this, I know it's a little bit fast, but it sounds like you're seeking a lot of information and I want to have this meeting as soon as possible. Yeah. Would later today or Monday at 2 work better?
Definitely not today. We've got a packed day, but Monday could work.
Okay, cool. What I'm going to do is send you this outline. I would like for you and Allison to come to the office, and what we'll do, it'll take about 45 minutes. I call it Smart Start. It's you're doing kind of a move up or relocation situation. And in the email, it'll just bullet point what we're going to go through. And I think at the end of the meeting, I'll guarantee you this, that we'll answer a ton of your questions. Some you might not know that you had. And then I think we can make an educated decision for what you need to do next after that meeting.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, we do have some questions around selling. Do we need to sell? Can we buy without? There's definitely some things we need to, iron out.
Great. We can go through all that in the meeting. If 2 o'clock works, on the email as well, depending on what your appetite is, I have a link on that email. It says in the second paragraph, you can click and essentially fill out a pre-qualification form. Mm-hmm. And I always tell all my clients, this is not a loan application. This is just you setting up a portal to put information in. You can securely upload the items we need. And if you don't fill it out, that's okay too.
Okay. Yeah.
Now here's one thing that you guys might say or not. I'm a consultant. I don't want to spend a dime on Michael until he comes in and does what I want him to do. You guys may think that when the little dog takes your treat, that now you own the dog, and it's speed to information. And if he uploads stuff and you pull a full credit and you have it all ready, that like you're winning and the other people are losing. You're wrong. Now, you could argue, and here's the thing. You're wrong to me. You could be right to you. I just don't think that that's the way. I don't train anybody that I train on. It's your job to get all the docs. A lot of people argue about that. I don't care. If you do, hey, Michael, what I'd like for you to do is fill out the link, upload as much information as possible. Then what that leads to is this. Michael now asking me questions about pulling credit. Is this a hard pull? I have another question. And then all of a sudden, I'm the doctor on the phone for 15 to 20 minutes in an information exchange that is no longer in my control. Do you guys understand that? I need a nod. Yes. I want a nod. If you don't, shake your head and say, I don't get it. Do you understand the longer you're on the phone, the less power you have to build your value? You become the phone information giver outer person.
Yep.
Andre, do I get a hell yeah there? I get a hell yeah. Good.
Hell yes. We get
Okay. So here's the thing. Now all I do is have the appointment. We're not going to talk about the appointment. I built the value. By the way, here's the real truth. If Michael, we're going to role play next, and Michael fight a little bit.
Okay, I'll be tough.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Michael?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Brendan Donaldson. I wanted to give you a call. Katie Morrell had referred me and connected us on a text earlier today.
Oh, okay. Katie.
Yeah, it was, I think you're relocating here and needing some mortgage help.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Got it. Yep. Yeah, I met her at the open house. That's right.
Yeah. Well, hey, I was going to ask you, how did you meet Katie?
You know, my wife and I were just looking at houses, and she held the house open. She was the agent there. So we just met her today, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that was quick. So I saw your 404 area code. Are you from Atlanta, or are you here in Nashville?
We're moving to Nashville, but yeah, from Atlanta originally. Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, before we start, I met Katie about 4 years ago, and she and I, met. Literally, she was a neighbor, and she's obviously a realtor. I'm a lender, and met with her a couple times in her team, and then we started working together. 4 years later, we're still working together. Did she tell you anything about my team or our process or how we help her clients?
No, not really. She just said that, give you a call or, reach out to you. We're really not sure if we're going to buy that house. I mean, it was just an open house we went to. So, we're definitely going to keep looking in the area.
Okay. So I hear his tone. Time out. I hear his tone. It's flat. You guys are all watching. He's trying to give me the body language like, oh, who is this guy? And I hear open house. So I know Katie's pretty personable, but I hear that Michael could have, and his wife could have gone to 7 other open houses. So this is, you didn't give me this. She gave me 3 other names. You just gave me, I met her at an open house, which, by the way, I think this is pretty realistic for all you guys right now. You're getting a lot of open house leads. Well, Michael, here's, if you've got a minute, I think first and foremost, if you and your wife, what is her name?
Allison.
Awesome. If you and Allison kind of tripped into Katie, and I know Katie and her team, they're doing a lot of open houses right now.
Yeah.
She's, I can say this, you're kind of lucky, because one of my jobs after lending for 28 years is to really kind of align myself with professional realtors that do a great job and look out for their clients. And I can tell you this, maybe you guys went to 10 open houses that day, but you were pretty lucky to run into Katie, because I think she's really good at what she does, and she looks out for her clients' needs.
Oh, wow. Well, that's great to hear. I mean, my wife liked her a lot, actually. We've met a few over the last couple of days, and yeah, she liked her. Yeah. That's
cool.
Great to hear. Thanks for I appreciate that.
Well, Awesome. I'm glad to give you that information. I think the other thing, one of the reasons why I like working with her is she knows the value of what we do with her clients. And especially she's met a lot of people like you, just kind of randomly at open houses, and they've trusted her enough to come meet with us. And so sounds like you may own a home in Atlanta.
Actually, it's under contract. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Great. So I think that congratulations on that, by the way. I know that's stressful. I think you have been through the mortgage process before, but I think right now the market is totally different. And Katie recommends to her clients to come to our Smart Start meeting, and yours would be like a relocation Smart Start.
Okay.
And Michael, first and foremost, there's no obligation in the meeting. It'll take us about 45 minutes, but there's no obligation at the end of the meeting for you to decide to work with us or not. What I want to do is give you information that you might need, you and your wife, and to walk you through our process that's helped other clients close successfully in Nashville, especially in this competitive market, and really just try to answer as many questions as we can in that timeline. Michael, what's your... Go ahead.
Is that something, can we do this over the phone, or, I mean, do we have to come in and?
Well, let me ask you this. Are you here in Nashville?
Yeah, we are. We're here for, today, and then we're probably heading out tomorrow.
Okay. So by the way, timeout. Timeline's important and timing's important. I'm selling my presentation that he knows nothing about, but I'm just building the value and saying, hey, you're in a stressful situation. And very few people, if they're in stress, love more phone calls and more details. This is my opportunity to bring him in, sit him on my couch, offer him a drink. He's relocating. By the way, one of the resources was, one of the things we wrote down was connections, future planning, advocacy. I know he knows no one here, or probably not many people. So, hey, Michael, what I would prefer, if we could squeeze this in, because it sounds like you're in a pretty tight time frame.
Yeah,
you're selling. What's your ideal timeline to buy here?
I mean, we do have some family we could stay with, but I mean, ideally 30 to 45 days. I mean, if we could be in that quick, it'd be great.
Okay, great. So this is a very quick turn time. If you're available later this afternoon to come in with your wife, I think we can condense the meeting in under an hour. I'm going to send you an outline right now. Would 4 o'clock work for you guys?
Well, where's your office?
I'm on 8th Avenue. Where are you staying?
Oh, okay. I'm staying downtown near the.
Yeah, you're 5 minutes away.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not bad. I mean, I'll check with my wife, and we'll see if we can make it.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question. Have you gone through this process? Are you approved? Tell me where you are in your whole mortgage timeline.
Got it. I had called somebody else. It was actually somebody that I bank with. We've just been playing phone tag, so we haven't connected yet.
Okay.
So I haven't really gone through this yet. I mean, I think we'll be fine. Credit's really good. Income's strong. I don't think we'll have any issues.
All right. So guys, now he's just giving me that he's an easy loan. Jonathan Huffman, out of whatever amount of loans you're closing right now, tell me all the easy ones right now that you've got. Yeah. Thank you.
I unmuted for that.
Yeah. Melissa Elmazis, how many easy loans do you have right now? Zero. There's no easy loan. Ready? Here's my reply. Because now he's tussling with me. So here's the easy. Well, hey, Michael, no, I totally respect that. Your bank, I guess it's in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I completely understand that you have, a dozen choices to go get a loan. You met Katie. It sounds like your wife, you guys kind of bonded. Here's my thoughts in today's market.
Okay.
You have to assemble your team, because if you guys are looking at a certain price range, and she had said that house was $795, the open house she met you at. So I'm assuming you're looking in the $750 to $1 million range.
Right in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I found right now in Nashville, those are, if they're priced right, they're in multiple bid situations.
Okay. That doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
Right. So time out again. All I'm thinking is if he understands that I can be his advocate and help him win with Katie, I'm selling advocacy, which is never about price. It's about getting Michael what he wants, which is a house that his wife likes when she's relocating. Remember, we've done this 28 years. You guys that have only done it 5 years or under, you're not picking up all the signals that Shayla, Michael, and I pick up because we're experts. You might be like best in class rookie and you're not hearing all of these fear points. And I know that Michael's wife is the driver. Right, Michael?
That's right.
Well,
You
so,
got
okay,
it.
so back to the close.
Okay.
So, Michael, here, I don't want to waste your time. What I'd like to do is walk you through a process that I know will get you more prepared. And I think ultimately, this is it. If you decide to work with Katie and she works well with us, we want to represent you when it's Saturday night and you and Allison see the house that pops up, that there's 4 other people. And we know that we have you fully approved already through underwriting. If that's a choice you choose to go with us, to where you could close very quickly and increase your negotiating potential because of our approval, because of our knowledge of the market. And I also think there's a couple other things we can uncover in the meeting. I promise you, after blank years of experience, you fill in the blank. After 5 years of doing this, after 10, after 20, this meeting is to inform you to essentially load your gun. Could you come in at 4?
You have wine. If you have wine ready, I can probably get my wife to come by.
I've got tequila, I've got wine, I've got beer.
Yeah, I mean, we're right on the corner. I think we can stop.
Okay.
by.
Here's the thing. If you try to schedule an appointment once, twice, 3 times, and they're caving, are they your client?
Nope.
If Michael just keeps, hey man, this is the Chris Voss. Eventually I want him to say, hey man, listen, my buddy is the VP at the Bank of Atlanta. He's already told me whatever lender's here, he's going to give me a 0.5% lower rate. Like, I appreciate all this, but I know more than you because I'm Michael Anthony. Michael, give us your Italian Michael Anthony.
Yeah, Michael Anthony. And that, I think I think I'm already taken care of.
Right. So, hey, Michael, it sounds like I can't be of service to you, but if something happens with your Bank of Atlanta guy, so you just have to, when you have the extreme shopper, you have all the information they want. Right. So we role played to kind of how to set the appointment. My thing is this, and I'm going to call Benton in. Michael, while I'm getting Benton to pull up, because I want to show you guys what the All About You is. The goal is to set the appointment so that they come into your space. How many of you, when you guys go to, you're picking a dentist, you're picking a consultant, and you go to their office for the first time, you type it in your phone, you go, it's all new, and you physically meet the person. Like, one day, Shayla, I'm coming to your office. I can't wait to be lost, figure it out. And then like you come around the corner and are like, oh my God, welcome. Like I get to see you. And I think what's lost is in COVID, we all thought all we can do is be on this computer screen. And I think that if you have an office, exploit the hell out of it. Make it the show place. We have a welcome sign on a flat screen. We have a nice couch. We want to give them directions and get them here. Why does that give you an advantage when someone's on your turf? Type in, why is it important to get them face-to-face in your office, in your opinion? We're just doing it in the chat box. Come over here and help me set this. I spelled that wrong. Feel more connected. Captive audience. Document. I want to do the triangle of trust. Or show them the map real quick. Michael, read them out because I can't see them.
Connection, intention. They plan on doing business. It's more commitment. Eye to eye, because they already need an advocate in a foreign space and it gives you a chance to demonstrate it. I was thinking control.
Yeah. And Shayla, when you've worked
Personable.
with Renee for the amount of time you spent with Renee, I mean, what's the statistic on communication, body language versus actual words?
Yeah. When we think about how much we are bombarded digitally and that our brains are fried, like the things that we remember at the end of our day is true human connection. It's the hug, it's the handshake, it's the feeling. Words are only 7% of communication. 93% is the energy that we feel, the body language, all those, social cues are really powerful. But I think it's the same thing. Look, if somebody comes to a coffee with you, their intention is to maybe do business with you. Like they're showing up there. If Michael showed up to your office in Nashville, he's open-minded to choosing you. If it's just over the phone, the commitment, the barrier is so low because we talk to anybody over the phone, a telemarketer over the phone.
Yep.
But if I'm going in and meeting a professional in person, there's an intention there that I'm open-minded to doing business with this person possibly. Otherwise, I wouldn't even have showed up at all.
Right.
Okay.
And just so you know, Brendan, I've made both you and Benton a co-host. So if it distracts you to share, make him share from his computer.
Share the all about you. Okay. He's going to go over to his thing. Great.
Yeah. You're good.
Then I don't have to drive. So I think you guys are thinking, wait a minute. And if your brain is, okay, now what I do when they come in. So we're going to show you a process form called like the map in our head of what we're thinking, like the lead process. But I want to show you, we'll show you that kind of at the end. The more important form to look at is the all about you form. So here's what I think. Michael is intrigued, whether it's the shopper Michael or the one that trusts his wife that went to college with Katie. We could list out 65 relationships and how it's formed, but I don't really care because I know Michael has fear and all the things that we were building up. The expertise, the knowledge, the accessibility, the education, the advocacy, the connection. He needs all that, right? So Michael and Allison show up in our lobby. Maybe they filled out the pre-qual form and maybe they gave us permission to pull credit. Here is what we have Michael and Allison fill out in our lobby. This is when we talk about if you go to a doctor, if you go to a lawyer and you're trying to sue someone, if you go and do anything that's big in your life, most professional consultant places will have an intake form. Okay. What hurts? How much? What's your family history? What's all this stuff? If you go meet with a financial planner, they're going to have an intake form that they want you to fill out. So we've used this form and manipulated it through the years. And all this form is if you can think about this, what can I use in my lobby before I start my meeting so that I have maximum leverage to influence the client and to basically take control, right? That's what I think in my brain. So most couples or individuals, it's very rare if you get someone in your office, they will fill this out. Michael, how long? 5 minutes, 7 minutes?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes. So what people do is they check these boxes. They literally fill it out line by line. And when they check boxes, great. I'd like to learn today in today's meeting, which by the way, this thing could be built over time to have more things in it. Right now, this is the evolution that we've come up with so far. Next little part, scroll down, Benton, the money part. Here's the part that if all of you are going, I want to be an advocate and I really want to be a lender for life and I really care about my clients. This is maybe the biggest magic that we tripped on in the entire thing, maybe these next two. And it's really their money. Guess what, Michael? I have a percentage. What is your percentage of people that check no to all of these questions?
A high number. I mean, I would say 85-90% might check one. Maybe they have a tax person or something, but it's usually no
Right.
across the board.
So one of the things we learned in selling and being in the environment of sales and trying to establish expertise is the fact that this is a polite form that people disarm themselves. When they say no to everything and maybe say yes to a budget, and then on how much do they save a month, they don't know. And 401k, they're a question mark. Remember this, they told the realtor at the open house a week ago that their budget was $3,000 a month for a payment because their current payment on their current home was $2,000. What? How the fuck? Sorry. How would they know? So this form, if you use a form like this one day, will give you ammunition to talk about, hey, how did you come up with these numbers? It looks like you're not really getting advice from anybody. So today, Jonathan, you and your wife, Allison, you and Michael, I'm a lender. I've sat in about 2,500 of these meetings. I'd like to just give you as much advice as I can around any of these subjects. Would that be okay? By the way, that's called the brain surgeon close. Like that's influence using this form. Next line.
Hey, time out real quick, Brendan.
Go ahead.
Just one thing that keep in mind. Had a couple recently. How much do they save per month? And I've seen 2,000 a month, 1,500 a month, $3,000 a month. Think about how valuable that is to know when they're renting for 2,000 and your mortgage payment is 4,000.
Yes.
You already know they can afford it because they're saving it already. Now we're just shifting the asset from a bank account or the stock market into their home. That is huge.
By the way, Michael and I could geek out on this form all day because it tells you what to do in the loan presentation.
Right.
And that's where this can be leverage. Next question. So by the way, true story, during COVID, Shayla, we didn't have this question on the form. And we had a guy that came in and he wore a mask and all you could see was his eyes. And he was like, it was like the funniest meeting because you couldn't read anything. And after that meeting, I was like, you know what we're putting on this form? We're putting the question that's the values-based question. There's a book called Values-Based Selling. And the number one question is, what's important about your money to you? It's values-based selling. It's about financial planning. So we were like, wait, let's ask a better question for us. What's important to you about choosing and working with a lender? And here's why we said that, because they'll fill in the blank on however they see the question. Well, wait a minute, I'm choosing a lender? Oh, maybe not. Or working with a lender? So 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell you their buying style right there. And Michael, have people ever written in that box at your Smart Starts, I want the lowest rate and fees?
I see it 1 out of 15 times, probably.
Yeah.
Very, very rarely. You would think you'd see it all the time. You don't.
And by the way, if they're there in your office and Shayla already said 7% of communication is verbal, 93% is body language, you're going to figure out pretty quickly in this meeting, can you overcome this? Or can you've got an extreme rate shopper and depending on your selling style, what do? Do you try to sell them on pre-qualification in your service, knowing full well it might come down to rate? We can talk about that later. So the rest of the form, the fun part.
And Brendan, I just want to tell you that most everybody would assume in that box that people say, I want the best deal. I want the lowest rate. And I asked every single one of the guys in your office, Brendan, and they confirmed exactly what Michael's saying. They do this every single time. And it's maybe, even 1 out of 5 writing that. That's still only 20% are saying that that's the most important thing to them.
Right. And Shayla, you know this, that you're seasoned enough and everybody on this call knows this, that it's like, okay, this is the loan where if my comp plan's a little, has some flexibility and this lead was generated from the internet, this is a loan where I can get branch approval to price it at 99 or, it's a big loan. And this is where you go, hey, I'm still going to do this presentation to the best of my ability to prove my value. Because what if they don't have a financial planner? What if the meeting takes a turn to where it's a weird loan approval and then all of a sudden all bets are off? Which, by the way, half the time when someone says, I want the lowest rates and fees, they're trying to come at you to hide something that's could be exposed about them. And that's what I found, that just because they say it doesn't mean they mean it. The rest of this form, by the way, in my mind, the fun part is just to establish a connection. It's just to establish a connection. And remember, realtors get the warm and fuzzy about neighborhoods and kids. And, oh my God, look at little Joey. He just sneezed and snotted himself. Oh, do you have a bathroom? He just pooped himself. Like, realtors get all the life stuff, and we get the credit, income. Oh, she was divorced, get her bankruptcy papers. Like, we get the nasty stuff. So here's the thing. Nobody on an initial phone call needs to be interrogated about this stuff. This is when they're in your lobby. And what I found is this, and Michael, you give me your testimony as well.
Yeah.
If you now have this form and you're walking into your conference room to sit down and you're almost ready to present this credit, income, asset, loan presentation, pre-qual presentation, smart start, like, where do you start if they fill this whole thing out? So what I found is this. I'm always looking at the bottom to see that Michael's from Cleveland, Allison's from Cincinnati, that their favorite sports team, Ohio State Buckeyes, their favorite restaurant, Sarducci's. We love Italian. I always tease Michael for being Italian. Favorite movie, Ghostbusters. Like, I'm just like dream vacation, Tahiti. So all I look at in my brain, and you guys are going to think I'm crazy, this is all I say to myself when I look at that for the first time. I wonder which one of these is going to be my past client gift when these guys are so happy working with me.
Exactly.
I already kind of programmed myself that this is my fun follow-up, that they'll forget they wrote it out, and I could send them a really cool, meaningful gift versus like something that we stamp for every client. That's me, but you can use it any way you want, right? So here's the deal, Michael. When you see this form and you're in your conference room and getting ready to start your pre-qual meeting, how do you go through this form before you start? Because they filled it out. They took the time. They took 6-7 minutes.
Yep. I mean, I do the same thing. I look at the bottom. I mean, I'll glance at the top, but I look at the bottom and usually make a comment, ask some questions. And then, you'll look at some of the financial pieces to it. I don't really go into the financial planner CPA at that moment, but to your point, I want to understand a little bit about them, build the connection, and also what do they want to learn. So,
right.
It's a great place to start.
So here's the thing. Most people that start using this form, it's whatever style you want, but I would say this, in a foolproof format, if the fun part is just for fun, you can read from the top down. You can literally say, hey, this is great. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate you guys spending the time. It's 1:50 and we've got until 2:30. By the way, we don't. But so hey, it looks like you've checked all these boxes. And then I use this line. Shayla, would it be a successful meeting if we got to answer most of these or all of these today? They always say, yeah. Great. We're going to try to go through all the ones you checked. Hey, Shayla, Michael, it looks like the money part, you check no to everything. Cool. I think one of the things I'd like to do in this meeting when we go through your home affordability scale is just that if anything feels uncomfortable, we might want to give you a budget form so that you guys can kind of fill out. Because Michael, you mentioned you started a new job here in your reload from Atlanta. Yep. So maybe we look at your pay stub and your net deposits so we can really gauge what really, is going to work for you. Cool. Michael, it looks like you wrote this down on what's most important about working and choosing a lender. You wrote clear communication and no surprises.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me about that. Clear communication. What does that mean?
Well, just want to know, I did this before and never talked to the lender. It was just a nightmare process. So we've got a little PTSD about our last mortgage. So we really want to know from week to week, day to day, where we're at, what's going on.
Oh, awesome. And then surprises, I'm assuming something kind of blew up, or what happened?
Yeah, we just, it's about $5,000 more, at closing than we thought. And we found
Right.
out the day of. So not
And
happy.
pretend that Michael leaned back from the table and looked at Allison, and they like looked at each other and remembered what a nightmare it was. And I picked up on all those body language. Like I knew how tense that was in that moment. I could sense it.
Yeah.
So Michael, thank you so much for writing that down and telling me that. That's one of the reasons why I do this meeting. And I want to go through all these boxes about like what we need to learn. And then at the end, when we're at the decision of whether you want to work with us or not, going through approval process and getting underwritten up front, that's going to be a really critical decision because we don't want any surprises either. And I think one of the reasons why Katie referred us was she likes the fact that we update her and her team and our clients on one given day of the week about the loan so that everybody knows. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, no, it sounds great. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Hey, I see you're a Buckeyes fan. Congratulations. I hope you go to the national championship game again this year.
Good tough game Saturday.
So here's the thing. What we've done is established today that, by the way, the science of setting an appointment and triangling for trust is something where you're just establishing the relationship and the reason to meet. The value that the client sees has to be built. A 20-minute phone call, the only thing that can happen there is a process pyramid to where someone just hears, okay, they're trying to get me to make a loan app. Benton, if you can pull up the process map next, that'd be great.
Hey, while he's doing that, just quick testimonial to the All About You forum. I got a call last Friday. Prior customer, we closed her 6 months ago. She says, Michael, you had mentioned in our meeting that you work with some good financial planners and CPAs. My mother passed away shortly after our closing, and I inherited a large sum of money. I really need help. Can you connect me with somebody? Long story short, she inherited $3.5 million that she needs an advisor. So first of all, I was ecstatic that she called me back because I built that connection. She trusts me. But how nice of a referral is that to my financial planner that feeds me business every month to be able to give him that connection? So just it's a great tool.
Hey, you know what else it did? You avoid an EPO.
Exactly.
No kidding.
All right. So here's the thing. This is just something that Shayla, I want to send this to you so that everybody can see in my brain. This is kind of the prep of what we're talking about. The initial referral, the first phone call, the email, then the set the appointment, tell the agent, prep for your meeting.
We can't see this, Benton. It's too small. I think, well, maybe
there you go.
Never mind. I can see it. I had to blow up my screen.
Okay, cool.
Sorry.
So this is, to me, this is the mental concept of like the flow of just getting to the finish line of a lead. Like this is not like the finish line of a closing. This is the finish line to get them into a pre-qualification or pre-approval, or what we sell is upfront underwriting these days. So what I've learned is this: the transition for me and the people that we're working with is that could this meeting be so valuable to Michael and Allison, regardless of the first Michael who sounded easy and the second Michael who sounded harder, to where at the end of my Smart Start meeting, where I now have a basis, I've revealed through the mortgage scale our rates, and he says, hey, this was amazing. And I go, hey, the next step is official underwriting. And what we'll do is send you documents so that you can sign them. And what you'll do is apply your deposit towards your closing costs for the upfront underwrite. And Michael, that's $495 towards our total fees.
Sure. Can I write you a check for that?
Would you like to move forward today with us?
Yeah. Can I put that on a credit card, or do I have to write you a check for it?
Cash? But no, here's the thing. I'm just playing around. But ultimately, yes, Michael, we can do it on a credit card, and we'll send the disclosures out so that we can get this into underwriting. All of you guys understand this, that any of the pageantry of the call to the meeting, however you want to call it, in my brain, Get the word application out of your mind, because an application is disclosures and signatures. This is all just prequel to either this. I'm doing a thorough, me and my team are so great. We know how to look at your pay stubs and tax returns, and we never make mistakes. And we're going to issue you a pre-approval compliments of Melissa, because I'm so awesome. But Melissa, when you screw up the calculation with your processor who was half looking, they go under contract, then it goes into underwriting, and then the underwriter's like, yeah, you're a 57 back. Officially approved by Melissa 3 weeks earlier, right? Wrong. So there's either pre-qual, there's pre-approval, which is AUS findings at the branch level, or what we call upfront underwriting loan commitment. That's it goes to an underwriter. In the professional world today, I think any of you who have the access to get your files actually underwritten with a commitment letter, it makes your Smart Start stronger. It makes you able to say this, if Michael's the shopper at the end of the meeting, Michael, you have a lot of choices. You can go back to your Bank of Atlanta, but here's what I'm warning you. I think most people do a second base loan approval, and it still will take you about 3 weeks to a month to close. We offer upfront loan commitment. It is a deposit it's a non-refundable deposit. But here's the reason why I would recommend it for you. You sound like you're in a hurry. It sounds like you need advocacy here in Nashville with your team. If you invest with us and we get you approved and we get through the underwriting part, we can close in 11 to 12 days, depending upon the deal. And here's the more important part. I pride myself on being an advocate for my clients. Advocacy comes with knowledge. If I know everything and you're approved in our system through an underwriter, I can make that call to the listing agent, Michael, and tell them we will close. I'm sending you a commitment letter, not some made up Microsoft Word from Melissa Elmazis and her awesome team, but from Betty Buttercup, underwriter 247, who underwrote the loan with a loan number on it. And Melissa, I'm picking on you. You're like, I never screw up. But here's the thing. When the client hears guarantee with a fee, do you think they think this person is valuable, or they think, why would I pay for that? What do you think they think? Anything? 1 minute left.
Are you saying what does the realtor think if you collected a deposit?
Yeah. Do you think go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the more that the borrower can commit, if they've come and spent a full hour and they're now educated and they have urgency, because a big part of this meeting is selling the heck out of the realtor, giving very clear next steps, understanding what their fears are, they're going to come back to that real estate agent more committed, more clear, on fire. I mean, that meeting should cut down stress and time for that realtor and help them make more money. It's going to convert at a higher level. And if a buyer has given a deposit, or if you don't collect a deposit, but they've really understand the value of a pre-underwrite on your TBD approvals, they're really committing. So most of us don't have it set up where you can collect a deposit to get somebody credit approved. But even if you still understand the value of selling that as a value, again, I think the point you're making, Brendan and Michael, is that so much of us provide real value, and we think it's just in quick pre-approvals and giving them the letter and moving on, but we've sold ourselves short. And so what you've done through the Smart Start is showing people the real value. The next call, guys, is going to be really powerful because you're going to go into the Smart Start meeting. You now see what we've done on the first two calls is saying, what do we want? How do we want to be referred? What is our identity going to look like? Then what does the client want? And how do we sell that meeting? What you two did today was brilliant. That was such good, because I mean, I think so many of us try to just jump in a loan app instead of actually getting the meeting. So please put in the comments what your biggest takeaway was, if this was valuable today. What are you going to do? It's about execution. Remember, it's about how we execute, how we use some of this language in our process. And all about you form. Can I get your all about you? I know it's got Smart Start on the top, so it's not branded to your company. It's branded to the process.
Yeah.
I will share that with everybody.
Yeah.
Again, I can't tell you how incredibly valuable this is, you guys. This in our market, this is the fundamentals. I hope we all see that. This is the difference, and this is a way of living. It's a way of doing business.
Shayla,
so we'll get you that.
Shayla, thank you. We'll send you that. And I will say this, if you can't charge, we have a student, Shayla, who created a form that just said, hey, if you want to work with me, it says, I commit to working with Shayla. And it's just a signature. There's like no fee, but it's like, hey, why not have, if your client likes you at the end of the meeting, here's a little piece of paper that says you're committed to me. Does it mean anything? No, but if they sign it, maybe. So, all right, we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of Smart Start on the next call. So thank you.
And everybody, before you click off, the next call is on October 13th. I just put it in the chat. So go ahead and pre-register for that call. I will send out my email reminders, but it's so much easier if you just go pre-register, and then you'll get reminded by Zoom. Get it on your calendar. Obviously, if you've invested the time thus far, don't miss the next call where you actually see what happens in those meetings, why they're so valuable, how your agents are going to highly refer you because you have a process and a valuable meeting. And we give quality value. So it's in the chat for the registration. Thank you all for being here. That was
Thanks
amazing,
again, guys.
Thank you, Shayla.
A+.
Take care.
All right. Have a great weekend.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
everyone.
Thank you. Bye.